Britain's emergency bikers are the lone rangers of the road. They scythe through the most congested traffic in Europe to get help where it's most needed, fast.
Go.
In the battle to save and protect lives, they can be first on scene. And the minute they arrive, we're right there with them. Coming up on Emergency Bikers, agonising mystery pains. A man's in trouble on a bus.
His blood pressure's really low.
And biker cop Smithy predicts chaos with a dumped car on a major dual carriageway.
You're just going to get a massive accident.
Birmingham, Britain's second city, with one of the busiest road networks in the country. Standing by for any emergencies, the biker paramedics. Faster than the traditional ambulance as they race to incidents in an 8-mile radius of the city centre. On duty, Mark Hayes.
212.
And 999's come in. A man's collapsed on a bus in the city centre. It's the start of the afternoon rush hour, and the route is already congested. But on his Yamaha FJR 1300, Mark cuts a path through the heavy traffic, covering just over a mile in 2 minutes. A nearby ambulance technician has just arrived. As a paramedic, Mark will take charge.
Literally 2 seconds, mate.
Okay.
Apparently he was seen to sort of collapse to the floor.
Yeah.
They thought he had a bit of chest pain and got to his chest.
The elderly man could be in the early stages of a heart attack, and it's vital that Mark assesses his condition quickly. But the man only speaks Gujarati. Luckily, another passenger agrees to stay and translate, and he's discovered something vital.
He's got low blood pressure.
Okay. I think we get him on the floor, lying down. Yeah.
The man could black out. Lying on the floor keeps blood flowing to the brain. It's the safest place to be.
Good man. Ask him how he's feeling at the moment.
Kaka?
Have you got the...
I've got
the lead.
Dizzy?
Yeah, this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Just tell him I need to pop some dots onto his chest, please.
Such low blood pressure means his heart could stop. Mark sets up a monitor that will trace its every beat.
Is he saying to you?
He says I need to go at home.
Tell him that...
I'm alright.
Right. Tell him he's not. He needs to go to hospital for a checkup. At the moment, his blood pressure's really low.
Yeah. The hospital
We're on 97/44.
Blood pressure बहुत low है काका.
It's crucial the man's treated in hospital. His heartbeat is weak, and at less than 60 beats a minute, he's in the danger zone.
So his blood pressure's still too low, even though he's lying down there. Yeah, very low.
If his heart slows any further, it could stop. The man is still refusing treatment. Mark's called for an ambulance in the hope the man will change his mind.
I need to pop a needle in his hand so that we can give him some medicine to make him feel better. You need to go to hospital. I can't do it against his will, but there's no way in the world he's going to be able to make it home under his own steam. He will collapse. I need to get across that he needs to go. We need to continue with this treatment.
Uncle, पूरी ट्रीटमेंट है जैसे तमे અત્યારે બરોબર છે હોસ્પિટલમાં જઈને તમારે ખાલી આ ચેકઅપ કરવાનું રહેશે यदि તકલીફ થઈ થાય તો આ લોકો જવાબદારીમાં આવશે.
Does he understand the consequences?
He says, no, I don't want to go. I need to go only home.
This is a dilemma for Mark. He needs the man's consent to get him to hospital.
If I could pop a needle in, I can treat him with drugs. We can try and increase his heart rate, which would hopefully in turn raise his blood pressure. But because he's refusing any treatment, saying he doesn't want to go to hospital, by doing any of this to him would be assault. It's very common in the elderly that they don't want to be of any trouble or inconvenience to people. They just want to go home, carry on about the business. But he's got to go. He's not going to make it home. How are we doing?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
89-year-old gentleman,
He said, yeah.
up until you've got on the bus, is refusing to go to hospital, refusing cannulation. I believe there's been some mention of a history of low blood pressure.
Yeah.
That's about as much as we know. All right.
So
Has he?
So it's
Yeah,
happy now to
Barclays
get a
somebody's
hospital.
just consented to go to hospital and
Right,
have
marvellous.
cannulation.
Marvellous.
It's good news. The man's finally agreed to go to hospital.
1, 2, 3.
But it may have ended very differently without the efforts of the helpful passenger.
The crew will look after him. We'll get an interpreter at hospital and they'll contact his family. All right. Thank you very much for your help. You've been very good. Yeah. All right. Birmingham is such a diverse city with lots of nationalities. It's quite often that we come up against a language barrier, and we were extremely lucky in this instance that we had a gentleman that was able to translate for us, and he was absolutely worth his weight in gold. It was so much easier for us because we could find out what his symptoms were, and in the end we managed to convince him to obviously accept treatment and go to hospital.
A cold November afternoon in North Yorkshire, England's biggest county, crisscrossed by 6,000 miles of roads, from fast-moving dual carriageways to country lanes. The motorbikes of the North Yorkshire Bike Squad are crucial in keeping the county's commuters safe. On patrol today, PC Martin Smith. Drivers on the A64 near York have reported a broken down car blocking the inside lane. Smithy's en route to check it out. The stranded car could cause a major pile-up. 20,000 vehicles thunder past this spot each day. The driver's nowhere to be seen, and one of the wheels has fallen off the car.
Bearing's gone. That's absolutely solid. It's not lubricated properly. And it's just kept going until it seized onto that and collapsed.
I'm assuming that never used to have a flat bottom.
Yeah, it went up there, look, and you can see the mark on the road where he's come to a halt. Just as well it went to Twisty Bendy Road when his bearing collapsed. So what we've got here in short is a bit of a problem because he's still stuck out into lane 1. We can't shift it because the bearing's sheared off in the back hub. I appreciate the driver's probably gone to go and get help, but the problem is he's left the car, no keys, nobody to speak, so we've no other alternative to get it lifted as soon as possible. What he should have done was run the police from here, because this, sat into that lane, is a liability. They're just going to get a massive accident.
Only 1 week ago, a West Yorkshire policeman was killed when a lorry ploughed into the stranded car he'd stopped to help. The car has no MOT, and Smithy needs to find the missing driver.
I would suggest somebody's picked him up. I'm strongly suspecting tyre marks there, which are fresh. There is assistance. Well, I'm hoping he's going to come back here because it made my life a lot easier, but if not, we can go and see him later.
Over 20 minutes and a few hundred vehicles pass by. One lorry only just makes it into the outside lane. Then a Land Rover pulls into the roadside.
Now then, whose is this? Right.
So I was just going to go to Stamford Bridge there, but it's MOT brand.
Is that where you're going now?
That's where we're going, yeah.
Right.
If that guy could get us to that lay-by, then I could
That guy, unfortunately, because you left it here, we'll be taking it to his yard. You'll have to sort it out from there. There's nothing I can do about that. That vehicle is in lane 1. We have no choice. It isn't a question of, well, now you're here, it's all right. I've had to call them out because my responsibility is the greater public.
I understand.
Funnily enough, just while we've been filming here, the very fact we've had to put cones and what have you, we've nearly had a wagon come through them. So chances are, if he weren't there, your car wouldn't have been here when you got back. It'd have been somewhere down there, and then there'd be some questions to answer. Unfortunately, you said the right thing when you turned up, you're on your way to MOT, because I'm well aware it's expired. All right?
A car with no MOT is allowed to be driven to a garage for a booked test. So Ian, the driver, hasn't committed an offence. But he and his grandfather Terry were involved in fitting the failed wheel bearing.
The reason why this has happened is we were in a rush. Nip this, get out there and get this, you know how it goes. Right, it's got to go for an MOT. He's maybe overtaken it.
Oh, right, so it wasn't you that physically put the bearings on? No, somebody's done it for you.
I was doing the front end.
Yeah.
While they were doing the back end, you see.
Right.
See, I'm the fitter.
Yeah.
I'm a fitter between.
Yes.
Right?
You know what you're doing, and the fellow that was at the back here didn't.
Obviously, he didn't know. Switch that camera off, you see. Plunker.
Is he?
Well, he's proved, isn't he?
Do you know what I was told a long time ago? ABC, accept nothing, believe no one, and check everything. Don't forget it. Old age and treachery will always overcome youth and enthusiasm. Never forget it.
Right, son. You wouldn't think I was 74, would you?
I wouldn't actually, no.
Well, I am.
In fairness to you, I'd have said late 60s, but not 70s.
74, and that is 1966.
It's not quite as old as me then.
No, it's not far off it though.
Wisdom isn't all that Smithy and Terry have in common. They're both petrol heads.
I'll leave my Land Rover here, lend you the motorbike, I won't have to give you somewhere up that road.
I'll tell you what, by the time you've had that, you want that back.
Do you think so?
Well, yeah, you'll have nearly as many parts to replace on a regular basis. I know somebody who's doing one of them up. He's trying to stop me having a conversation because he knows if I want to have a conversation, sun will be going down. Yeah. And even you'll be going, doesn't he ever shut up because I want to go for my tea?
And it's tea time.
So we're probably as bad as one another.
Thank you very much.
All right, you take care.
All the best,
See you later.
Well, take care.
Right, take care, young man. Get him to do your bearings.
So I'll see you at home then. All right, Ian. Thank you. Bye. See you later.
In the end, Ian and Terry decided to scrap the broken down car. Leaving it on the side of the dual carriageway could have ended very differently. In the month following this incident, 2 drivers were killed in North Yorkshire while attempting to repair their vehicles at the roadside. Birmingham, mid-morning. On call, biker paramedic Steve Harris.
214 received, thank you.
A 999's come in from a building site at the back of the Children's Hospital. It's 1.5 miles away, but Steve races through the streets and is on scene in under 2 minutes.
Hello there. Sorry?
Steve's directed to a porta-cabin where a builder's collapsed and is bleeding heavily.
Can we lie him down? He's looking a bit pale. Any difference?
An emergency resus team has been scrambled from the hospital and is already on scene. Suddenly, the builder blacks out. He could have massive hidden injuries. Steve needs to find out what's gone on.
Yeah, we've got the monitor here. Do we know what's happened?
Yes. Right.
And that's, so the face is from the fall and that he's cut his hand. Yeah.
It's still not clear why the man's blacked out. Steve needs to take observations fast. The man's shaking. His blood pressure and heart rate are low, all signs of shock. After the man cut his thumb, shock sent his blood pressure plummeting, and he fainted, falling face first onto the worktop.
You got fluid?
Do you have fluid with you to flush cannula?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
The man's losing a lot of blood. He may need IV fluids to maintain his blood pressure. The medics insert a cannula just in case.
So he's responding to us.
The man's coming round, but blood is constantly filling his mouth. He needs continual suction to stop him choking.
So where's that blood coming from?
It looks like, yeah,
from his lips. From his lips.
Yeah, he's stuck his lip on the way down. He's got his teeth through it. You can play the dual play before. So I think it's more chance of dual. Okay, you've got something on his left hand jaw there. He might have yeah.
Steve has another worry. An impact big enough to break a jaw can also fracture a neck. If the man moves too much, He could damage his spinal cord and be paralyzed. His neck must be kept absolutely still.
You understand what's happening, eh? Because you had your fall and you got the pain around your jaw and your neck, we're going to pop you onto a flat board so that we can look after you properly and get you up to City Hospital. All right. Apart from your head and your jaw, are you hurting anywhere else?
Thumb.
Your thumb, that's where you had the cut. Because of the mechanism of injury, the fact that he's fallen face downwards, we have to look after his neck. You've got the head, you call it.
Okay, on move, ready, steady, move.
We're having to keep him flat on his back with a collar fitted and strapped to a stretcher. Just got to watch his jaw.
The Children's Hospital has no adult A&E, so the man will be rushed to City Hospital for x-rays.
Excuse us. Excuse us. The thumb looks fairly superficial. He may or may not have fractured a jaw, so there could be a fracture on the facial bone or on the actual mandible. He's in the best place now. We'll be interested to do a check-up later and try and find out whether he has actually got fractures.
An early winter morning in Essex. Out on patrol, biker cop Lucy Watson. Riding through Grays in the south of the county, Lucy spots a car with a broken brake light pull over at the shops. But she's got a hunch there may well be more to this case.
Excuse me? Hello there.
Yeah.
Is it your car?
This my partner, yeah.
All right. You ain't got a problem with your lights at the back?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm telling you, you have.
Yeah, for international.
How long have you been in the UK?
9 months.
How long have you checking that?
Yeah.
You telling me the truth?
Yeah, alright.
You've only been here 9 months?
Yeah.
International driving licenses are valid for 12 months from the date the driver enters the UK. After that, they must take a UK driving test or stay off the road.
When you came to the UK, did you register with immigration?
Yeah.
You did? Sure?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I'm going to need to check with him in relation to the date you came into the UK. What date did you come in?
January.
January? What, this year?
This year.
Hello there, it's Casey Watson, my message, please. I want you to do a check for me, please. He came in from the Seychelles and he came into Heathrow and it says it's sometime in January this year.
If the man's been telling the truth, the border agency should have his entry on their records.
Just waiting on a check. Yes. Okay.
But there's no record of him entering the UK on that date.
Have you got your passport with you?
No.
No, you haven't.
The border agency also has a problem with the date he's given.
So, would a visit visa normally only be for 6 months?
If he did arrive in January, his visitor's visa ran out 3 months ago.
Right. You're actually here outside of the terms of your visa, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, we have already applied. We're waiting
Who have you applied with?
for the immigration.
Okay, they know nothing about you. So you haven't made an application to them, or they'd have your details on their system. Where did you get your visa?
I got it in Kenya, but I used to live
Armed with new information about the man's visa, Lucy calls immigration once more.
Hello, UK Border Agency. It's PC Watson from Essex. Hello, was it you I was speaking to just now? Oh, good. Right, apparently he came in from Kenya. It says his driving licence is from the Seychelles, but he came in from Kenya.
Fellow biker cop Clem arrives to help.
Came in from Kenya.
Yeah.
I believe he's overstayer.
You on to
He
immigration
hasn't got, he hasn't got a UK licence at all.
Alright. How long has he lived here?
He says since January. He says he's driving on his international licence, which is from the Seychelles, but he hasn't got it on him. He says it's at home.
A few minutes later, and the border agency have unearthed some interesting information.
It Sorry, just give me the date of entry. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Bye. You came in 2005.
Oh, right.
Yeah? Not in January this year. As far as I'm concerned, you're here illegally at the moment.
It's estimated that up to 181,000 migrants to the UK are currently overstaying their visas. It appears that this man has been here for almost 6 years. That means he could have been driving without a licence and no insurance for 5 years. His car will be seized, but as a suspected overstayer, that's the least of his worries.
They've asked us to take him in, and immigration will do what immigration do. They'll do their checks and establish whether he's going to be deported or what they're going to do with him. You're under arrest, okay, for being an overstayer.
Yeah.
I must caution you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when to question somebody later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? He's trying it on, isn't he? You know, people try it on all the time. He's got a lot to lose, hasn't he? He's obviously living here with his partner. I don't suppose he wants to be chucked out just before Christmas, but that's a possibility now.
This may have started with a brake light, but it's turned out to be something much more serious.
It's just what you see with your eyes and having that nose for what doesn't quite look right.
When they reach custody, even more information is uncovered.
The fingerprints have flagged up that he's previously been arrested under a different name. In 2009, he was arrested for drink driving, and he said he was South African then. So immigration are now looking at that name and that nationality and a different date of birth as well.
In court, the man received 5 penalty points and was fined £117 for driving without a licence. The UK Border Agency is currently reviewing his status. Birmingham, a cold afternoon in early winter. On duty, biker paramedic Steve Cooper. A 999's come in. A man's lying motionless on a city centre street. Steve's a mile and a half away. Taking a shortcut through a pedestrian precinct, he arrives in just over 2 minutes. First on scene. The man's now propped up against a window, and it looks like he's hit the bottle.
Hello, sir. I'm a paramedic. I've just come to check you're okay, because somebody said you'd fallen over and hurt yourself. No, I'm a paramedic. Is this what you've been drinking? Don't get having any more, because...
No, listen, it's mine.
Eh?
You can't set it off.
You're not supposed to have it open on the street anyway.
Birmingham city centre is a zero-tolerance zone. Drinking in public is a criminal offence.
So what we're going to do with you, because we can't leave you on the street.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with me.
Come on, should we see if you can stand up, because you're either going to have to come to hospital, walk away from scene, or the police will have to come and take you, because we can't leave you here. And let's try and stand you up then, okay? Up you come. Push, push, push.
No, it's working.
As the man gets up, fellow biker paramedic Mark Hayes and a community police officer arrive as backup.
No, no.
Okay, how much you had to drink? You had quite a bit. Right, you're going to come and give me some details, yeah? What's your name? Dennis the Menace, I don't believe that.
You're living up to your name at the minute.
The man's known to be homeless, and to add to his troubles, booze could make him unpredictable. He could be a danger to himself and others.
No.
You're shouting me.
We're not, mate. We're not. I've come to check you're all right.
We're not, mate. It's all right.
No need to swear at me.
All right.
Relax.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I just fell down. I just fell down.
Right, you're going to give me some details?
Let's have a look. Have you got any ID on you? Can we have a look? Is that all right? Yeah, you've got some paperwork there. There, lovely.
Thank you. And have you got a police record?
I've got tunnels.
Have you? Alright, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Can you have a PNC check, please? That's going to put it in there.
Are you going to let us do a few little checks on you?
You can do anything you want from me.
Can I? I can do some checks. Let's just to check your blood sugars to see if the alcohol's made them go low.
You're gonna stab me, aren't you?
Let's borrow your finger then, mate.
Just do it! Please!
Right, yeah, here we go, sharp scratch.
You say you're a policeman?
I'm a paramedic.
Steve's checks suggest nothing untoward, but the police have just found out that the man has an ASBO for drinking in the city centre. He will be arrested. Steve must keep him calm and safe until more officers arrive.
So, can I go home, or am I gonna get napped?
Well, you can't walk home because if you walk, you fall over. You almost hit your head through the glass here. You lost your balance because you've had quite a lot to drink. You're all unsteady.
You're sensible, you.
I am sensible.
Ring a rose, yeah. So,
I haven't said it. I'm just sat here quiet. You're the one singing.
have you got an aspirin?
An aspirin? Why do you want one of those?
I've got an headache.
You got a headache? I'm not surprised. I think you need a kebab.
There's something really special now.
But the man's mood soon turns.
I'm a big
Right there.
Stay here.
I'm not here.
No, you won't.
You're
Aren't you?
Dennis.
Shut up.
Don't be nice, mate. You've been alright.
Get back in the door, man.
Shut
You're
up.
gonna fall over.
I've had a hell of a day.
I know you have. You've been drinking.
It's going to get worse, Jack.
The man's becoming a handful. Backup arrives.
Back away for a start, alright, it's okay. Oh, you're alright.
Just
I've preached you as, bro. We've got to arrest you for it, alright. Okay? I know you don't mean any harm or anything, right? However, you know you've got an ASBO, mate. You know the conditions.
It's been an all too familiar job for Steve.
I think when I first started in the ambulance service, I was quite shocked by some of the calls that we were getting through, because you think everything is a case of life and death every day, every job. Sometimes you go through a run where you get job after job of the same type of call, and that's hard to deal with. Oftentimes we'll either take them to A&E or the police will take them, sober up, get discharged, probably have another drink, and we'll get called again, and the cycle seems to continue. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't frustrate me a little bit, but I guess it's just part of the job, so you've just got to get on with it.
Cornwall, one of the 4 counties in the 7,000 square mile patch covered by the South Western Ambulance Service. And for biker paramedic Ian Hooper, there's no place on earth quite like it.
Birmingham colleague, you get the city centre of Birmingham with your standby points. We get this. Not bad, eh? I would rather be out there, but it is a bit cold. And I'm nice and warm in my leathers.
But Ian can't admire the view for long. A 999's just come in from a panicked driver forced to pull up in a lay-by. Her passenger's in agony and struggling to breathe. Ian knows every inch of his patch, and on his BMW R1200 RT, he races across 2 miles of country roads. Under 2 minutes later, he's arrived, first on scene.
My sister, she's like a breathing or when we're coming through, I put me attitude on, keep moaning, so I pulled in. But she's panicking more now. All right.
Ian needs to find out what's causing the pain.
Hello, darling.
But the woman's so distressed, she can barely speak.
What's your name? Karen.
His first priority is to calm her down.
Just slow your breathing down. Right, let me get on. Let me help. Okay. You got some pain in your tummy? That hurts the press you there. Okay. Take a big deep breath for me. You're not liking that? All right. Slow your breathing down. We're going to sort your pain out and we're going to slow you down. Right? Are you feeling tingly in your hands?
A little bit.
Okay. You're feeling tingly in your hands because you're hyperventilating.
Just the pain is.
I know. You need to slow yourself down. Listen to me. Look at me in the eye. Look at me in the eye. You need to slow yourself down and I'll sort your pain out. Is that a deal? Yeah? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you can
Take the
imagine.
worst, please.
Pain as severe as this needs urgent investigation. An ambulance arrives to take Karen to hospital.
So painful.
Right. Hi, John. All right, this is Karen. She's got epigastric pain. Have you had an ulcer in the past or anything like that?
No.
No. Can you just slip your arm out of this? All right, you're doing really well. And see how much you've calmed down now? You listen, you're doing really well. I know. And we're going to get on top of that. Have you had any gallstones in the past or anything like that? No? No. And no ulcers? No. And is it all the time? Is it a sharp pain?
Sudden sharp pains like these suggest gallstones.
We're going to sort your pain out now. We're going to get you in the ambulance and sort your pain out, OK? All right?
Over time, bile produced to help digest food solidifies into balls in the gallbladder.
OK, can you manage this? That's it. That's it, Karen.
When they grow large enough, sometimes as big as a golf ball, they cause blockages and excruciating pain.
Just relax. That's it. You're doing that's brilliant. Well done. That's brilliant. Brilliant. A couple of steps. That's all right. You just gently hold on to me. That's it. And just quick. That's it.
There we go. Well done.
Right, you're going to go back onto your back. Right, I'm going to pick your legs up. Relax your tummy muscles. Relax your tummy muscles.
15% of adults have gallstones, and women are 3 times more likely to suffer than men. Left untreated, they could lead to an infected pancreas, major organ failure, and even death.
Take deep breaths with that.
That's it. Well done.
Gas on air and then liquid morphine will finally help to ease Karen's pain.
It's just a little syringe there for you, okay?
It's difficult to get a full story when somebody's that anxious because they're not talking in full fluent sentences. You have to sort of like get nuggets of information really. So it is quite tricky, and you don't want to be missing stuff that might be really important. You're doing really well. If you use that and you've had a bit of John's Oromorph, then hopefully we can, we maybe be able to give you something a bit stronger in hospital. Okay. All right, darling? Okay, I'm going to let you go now. You're doing really well. Look at you now. All right, sweetheart? They are. There we go. All right, my darling. You take care.
She'll be rushed to hospital for scans and tests to establish exactly what the problem is. Essex, and this morning it's pouring with rain. But that's not going to stop the biker cops. On patrol today and braving the elements, PC Ray Jeffrey.
Lovely.
Ray's in for a long shift, and he's forgotten his wet weather gear.
I made the fatal mistake of leaving my waterproofs back at base this morning, and I'm ever so uncomfortable now, shall we say. It would appear that my underwear isn't waterproof.
But a biker cop's gotta do what a biker cop's gotta do. Ray's been tipped off that cameras have picked up a car with no insurance.
Hello? Shan't keep it too long. It's showing no insurance on the vehicle. We just need to verify that with you, that's all. You've got a driver's licence with you? Don't carry it? Okay. You don't want it to murder it, you know, or buy it. All right, I'll be 2 seconds. I'll get the phone, I'll be back.
Ray checks the driver's details with the Motor Insurance Bureau.
Okay.
And it confirms that the car's not insured.
Right. It was cancelled in August because you didn't provide them with proof of your no claims bonus, and they will have written to you to advise you of that. So it's uninsured.
Without insurance, the woman and her 3 kids can go no further.
We can't allow you to drive a car which is uninsured. This is the problem.
I can't believe that they've cancelled it. I didn't know they've cancelled it. I didn't know that.
I quite often hear that. But of course we can't allow you to carry on driving because you're committing an offence. The car we have recovered. It goes to a secure compound in Basildon.
How much did you recover it?
£150. But the thing that will affect you mostly is that you're committing an offence by driving it with no insurance, and that offence has a £200 ticket and 6 points on your driver's licence. So it's bad news all round, really, isn't it? you're at the wheel today, so unfortunately you're the one that bears the brunt of the ticket. It's difficult sometimes. Her policy's been voided, so she's without insurance. But I've also got a duty of care. She's got 3 young children in the car. It is a dreadful day. She's going to try and get herself a lift home. If there's a problem with that, we don't just abandon people at the roadside. There are other options we can take in relation to her. We'll discuss that once she's made her phone call. If she can't get a lift, we'll go to the next stage.
The driver's called her mother-in-law to arrange a lift, and her husband's texted to say he thinks he's found an insurer.
Oh, yeah. I'll need to just contact the MIB again because we need to verify that. Obviously, we can't just take your husband's word for that. Okay.
Whatever her husband may think, the insurance company have refused her cover.
They won't offer her cover because obviously as of today she's got 6 points on her licence. There's a lot of policies now, when you read the small print, it says if you've got points pending. I don't think that they're going to get insured, but I'm prepared obviously to give it 5 or 10 minutes.
Her mother-in-law arrives to pick her up.
Can you come around the other side? I'm just conscious that you're going to get clouted by someone.
There's little reason for Rain not to seize the car now that her lift has arrived. But she doesn't want it towed away and is still trying to sort insurance.
They won't offer you cover. Some firms will, but it'll be thousands and thousands of pounds, obviously, because you're considered to be a liability in their eyes. I'm going to have to push you. You've got a lift now. The car is uninsured all the time. It's sitting here on the road, of course.
I can't try it.
Yeah, would you mind? This is your mum. Our mother-in-law. Oh, right, you get on well.
Now her husband calls with the details of another insurance company.
Right, one last call to MIB.
If all is not in order this time, her car will be towed away and she'll have to pay the £150 fee.
I suspect either way, when she gets home, the air's going to be a bit heated. Because it's her that's been a little bit embarrassed by all this today, and he's going to have to give her a damn good listening to when she gets home.
The checks have been completed and the news is in.
Hi, Mark. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark. All the best. Bye-bye now. Bye. Hurrah! It's covered! We can leave the car with you, but as I said to you earlier, unfortunately, it's a £200 fine and 6 points for the offence of driving it earlier with no insurance, okay? And then within 28 days, you have to pay the fine. Don't, for God's sake, when you get home and have that domestic you're probably going to have, don't forget to do that, will you? Because it goes up, not down, and it goes up 50% after 28 days. Because all this has been a bit traumatic for you, concentrate on your driving, all right then? You're going to be following, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just take your time. Okay, apart from meeting us, try and have a nice day. See you then. Oh, thank goodness, that's taken me an hour and 20 minutes.
Ray's now free to address another pressing problem.
Thank you for asking about my crotch. No, it's still as damp as ever, thank you very much. I'm soaked through and I'm going to go back, get changed and go home and have a nice hot bath.
Birmingham, mid-morning, and biker paramedic Steve Harris is responding to a 999. A woman suffering an allergic reaction. She's in pain and her throat is swelling. Severe allergic reactions cause 21 deaths every year through suffocation and heart attack. Steve needs to get there fast. He's got 4 miles to cover. Wet roads are potentially lethal to anyone on 2 wheels. Steve must take care. Riding as fast as conditions allow, Steve arrives in 7.5 minutes.
Hello. What's your name?
Leanne.
Hello, Leanne. Right, tell me what's been happening.
I thought we were here.
Oh, yeah, that's that. So when did you do that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
And when did the reddening come?
It started last night.
Yeah.
And then it's just burning me constantly. It feels like I'm constantly got hot water poured on my back.
Yeah.
And it feels like I've got a big lump in
Yeah.
these big lumps in my head last yesterday as well.
And what was it, hair dye you said?
Yeah.
You used that one before? Or was it a different one?
Yeah.
You took anything?
really.
Leanne's been using antihistamine tablets and cream she bought from the chemist, but her condition hasn't improved.
What's been happening this morning? Why an emergency ambulance?
Because I collapsed this morning. I got all
What do you mean by collapse? Just
I
tell
got all
me.
that I fainted, I passed out.
Okay. Early this morning?
Yeah.
Did you fall on the floor, or were you sitting down or lying down, or what?
Well, I was by the bed, so I kind of fell on the bed, luckily.
Yeah, okay. Do you know how long you were out?
Not that long.
Not long?
No, not long. I don't know how long, but not long.
Leanne's swollen throat isn't severe enough to stop her breathing, but allergic reactions don't normally cause a faint, so Steve runs checks.
Your blood pressure's fine? Have you eaten this morning?
No.
No? Is that normal?
No.
What I need is telling you little spot of blood there, you think a little sharp scratch.
Not eating could mean Leanne's blood sugar is low, contributing to her collapse.
All the bits are up, are all okay. There's no problems there at all. You know, with your pressure, your pulse, oxygen, your sugars, they're all okay. All we're doing at the moment is just waiting for an ambulance.
The shot-bought medicine isn't working, so Leanne will need injections to reverse her allergic reaction and close monitoring in case things get worse. She'll be in good hands. The ambulance technician that arrives to assist has a lot of experience with hair dye.
Hello there. Hiya. Come on in. This is our lady.
I feel like I'm an idiot. I tried to get your colour. It's your colour I tried to do.
Which one do you use? Do you use that one?
No, I don't.
We deal quite a lot with allergic reactions. Some are, you know, of varying degrees of severity. This one, although I'm sure it's painful and uncomfortable for the patient, it's not particularly affecting her breathing. It just needs sorting out for the localised reaction.
Thank you.
All right, sweet. All right. We'll pop her up to the hospital, get them to have a look at her. I would imagine she'll be put on something to get a more immediate effect to relieve some of the symptoms. All right, leave you to it. All the best. Hope all goes well for you. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.
The woman's had a lucky escape. Allergic reactions to hair dye are becoming more common, and there have been fatalities.
How can I comment on a haircut? I'm sure it's going to look lovely, but it seems a lot of pain and discomfort to go through just to change the colour of your hair.
Dennis the Menace was found to be in breach of his ASBO and was given a 3-month custodial sentence. Craig the Builder had broken his nose, not his jaw, and was left with scarring to his lip. He was back on site 4 days later. In Cornwall, Karen was diagnosed with gallstones. If she has another serious attack, she may need an operation. The man on the bus was given a full check-over in hospital and was allowed home that evening. It turned out he was severely dehydrated, which can cause blood pressure to drop. Next time on Emergency Bikers.
Keep going, keep going.
Agony on the train.
Keep taking that, keep taking it.
One surprise after another for a new biker cop.
It's just a calamity of errors by the sounds of it.
And meet Smithy, the fuel connoisseur.
It has a sort of fragrance of something like paint thinners.